So yeah, I have not done a ton of round of 64-32. I'd say I'm pretty familiar with the pods. I've done a couple VOD reviews on it. I've done a lot of practice runs of it. Not as many as, some people have like done 40 pods, but I did probably 15 pods plus two races. So, but I have not looked at the round of 64-32 flags since basically practicing it prior to the spring tournament starting. More like when it was, being evaluated. So we will be a little bit I will be going in a little bit blind with that, so I'm not going to have a firm opinion of the meta, but is there anything in particular that you're looking to get out of this?
I mean, just anything that I don't like. I have my own way of playing the game, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I feel like I feel like there's. Let's put it this way: I am middle of the road person that's been around the community a while, but in 9 out of 10 races, a guy like you or Dead Pulse or you know,
Bird and Chanagan, who are all
Spell.
watching right now.
Well, anybody can beat me, is what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
and more than likely will beat me. And I'm trying to figure out like just things that I'm not thinking of doing. Hell, like um when I was listening to the pod review of
Mm-hmm.
Clementidis's run, who's in here,
Mm-hmm.
um, there was just stuff that you and Deadpulse were talking about that I just like had not even thought of.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, can you how have I been playing this game for the last like, 2.5 years and hadn't really thought of some of these things that they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
it's just,
So
we'll see
so nothing in particular, but you're just kind of like looking for like a second set of perspectives, and then hopefully like
uh,
you're not, it's not that you're set in your ways, actually you're really willing to learn. It's just like it's hard to break out of your like normal way of doing things, and that's kind of what you're looking for.
yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Plus, it's always good to have somebody like you that's like you don't care about being blunt. You know what I mean? Like not that I think that's a bad thing at all. Like obviously sometimes you need to hear like direct things
Hmm.
about your style. So I'm interested to hear what you think because this is not a smooth run by any stretch of the imagination. Like I'm not expecting you to go, well, that's amazing. I expect you to like be like, oh, I can't believe you did that or whatever. And then I can say either, yeah, I know that was kind of silly that I did that, or I could be like, holy crap, like what was I even thinking doing that?
Yeah, actually, I
So
think that's really good. Something I've told a couple people is that I actually prefer it when they send me a VOD that things don't go perfectly, because a lot of the time the reason things don't go perfectly happens 10 minutes before the thing that doesn't go perfectly happens, if that makes sense. It's a bad
yeah,
routing choice, it's bad prep, things like that. So I would rather have that. I'm just quickly looking through the flags. So we've updated, we lost our free bridge. Our
yep,
bleached
no free
weapons
bridge.
are looking worse.
Yep.
EXP looks about the same. Boss looks about the same. Not too much else has changed. We have one Malice, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, one malice, and we have monster in a box, which is like the big thing,
Right, monster in a
and
box.
then I did four forced here, which is what explains the party.
Oh, okay, so you did do four first. So I was
Yeah,
talking with this about this in Duckling chat, and just saying like, I wasn't sure if this was a black belt run, but 4 4s, black belt, thief, thief, black mage. This is actually a pretty good comp to take a look at for these, because if one person wants trash and one person wants black belt, black mage, this is very likely like the type of party that people could see. So I actually think this is a great party to do a VOD review on.
yeah, yeah. One of the things you'll notice too is that the thieves have a monster blessing.
Oh, okay.
So, but we'll get to that once you actually pull up the stream and
Okay.
talk about it because I didn't
Oh,
realize it.
you've been live this whole time, Gregory. The
Oh,
stream's up and running.
okay, cool.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we're,
there
we're
we are. Yep.
we're about to actually get started. Actually, just to make it easier for you, I'm gonna share my screen in Discord, so that way you can watch it like live
Okay.
without any Twitch delay.
Oh,
And
that'd be
then,
great.
yeah, and then we'll go from there. Cool.
I'm going to turn you up a little bit in my ears. And if Clementitis wants to say anything, unmute himself, I'll turn him up as well.
I think he's just,
Oh,
What's
yeah,
going
he's,
no,
on?
no, I just want to watch. Don't mind me,
yeah,
guys.
I think he's
Oh, no,
just
no, no,
hanging
it's
out.
fine.
And we got a bunch of
I just,
people hanging out. We got, oh yeah, DVS. We would like the tea chat. We have, this is popcorn tea. I don't know, it's called Genmaicha is the actual name for it. So we're drinking some popcorn tea tonight. No,
that's funny.
no caffeine at, even though it's only 9 o'clock here. No caffeine for me. I'm like absolute garbage on caffeine. Okay, let's get
Would
started. Enough ado.
you
Good
guys mind if
intro.
I?
Welcome to evidently my first affiliate stream. So thanks to everyone for hanging out. Expect absolutely nothing to change, and we're doing VOD reviews, but yeah. I actually noticed that like VOD reviews, way more people like to tune into them. So that's not the reason I do them, but I'm more than happy that people seem to find some value in them. So
Mhm.
yeah, let's take a look at what our blessings are here.
I actually forget to check them
Oh.
until like right before the race. So
Okay, okay.
um, I think I disappear for a second, so you could probably fast forward.
Okay, looks like you're checking them here, I
That's
think.
what. Yeah, I must have had to rename them.
I was
Let's
wondering
see.
if your party was getting named after Dead Pulse, but it looks like they're just named after what thieves should be doing. Oh. Okay, so I can't see it. Oh, never mind. There you
Oh,
go. You're
there we
checking
go.
it. Okay, so
Now I'm checking this.
50% minus something that. Oh, okay. Interesting. So you have 3 black mages, and
Yeah,
some run
basically.
extra well, and
Yeah,
then you have a black belt. This is actually a pretty good party.
yeah. This ended up going pretty. Like I said, it went well, but there were still some. I still think that there could be ways I could have done this better. And again, this is all about insight
Yeah.
because
So let's just talk quickly before you get started into the seed. Like, what's your game plan going into the seed? Like, I'm the biggest person, the biggest proponent ever of having a plan, but what is the plan? Like, I think
okay,
plans
so
have to change, obviously, as the seed goes on. But like, what's your plan just looking at this party?
Davis already said it.
Yeah.
So the plan is that regardless of what happens, one of these fools is dying. I
Hmm.
don't know which one. We're gonna figure out as the seed goes along.
Hmm.
But if somebody dies, they're not getting rezzed.
Yep.
Is the plan.
Yep.
Regardless of magic, I could get nuke at level 1, and one of these fools is dying. So it's just kind of because I need to funnel that EXP to the black belt best I can, or just to anybody. And basically, the thief is like because thief has black mage
Yep.
magic.
Yep.
He's basically a more powerful black mage.
Right. Better HP, which is not saying much, but still saying something. Yeah, so I think a 2 mana is a good general strategy here. I think you're looking to go down to I would be not like I would probably not res someone if they went down early, but I think one thing I've really been finding on these flags, and I think even more so with Monster in a Box, is that you want to be keeping your party up to level 6 or 7 or like don't the exp difference for those early levels is not more important than the safety that you have by 4 manning for like a really sketchy marsh dive or a sketchy ice dive. So I wouldn't be trying to kill my party off too quickly, but like as soon as I feel safe, as soon as I feel like I have levels or ways to clear things, excuse me, I agree 100%. Let's go down to a 2 man and almost certainly with one of the thieves, right?
Yeah.
So I think your plan's solid. You know black belts like the back of your hand, so yeah, let's get into the seed. I anticipate I'm not going to have much to say for you, Gregory, until we get like slightly outside of the inner C. I'll point out some small things, but I
Yeah,
think most of the inner C
that's
stuff's going to be pretty standard, and unless your execution's like awful, which I don't think it will
yeah.
be, we won't have much to say. So we're playing at
Holy
one point.
moly,
We're playing at 1.5
oh
times
that's
speed, so you're okay. So Bane Warp pretty easy. Money's going to be a little bit tight with 3 mages, but
yeah.
did you buy Rub?
I don't think no, I just couldn't. I don't think I could. I was concerned about being able to afford the second warp.
Okay.
Plus, I wanted to make sure I had like some piece of gear to put on my black belt, which I found that iron stick. Now, watch this amazing move here.
So already, like just off the bat, with Bane, I would not be checking weapon shops. You're gonna be that's like just 10 seconds that you just don't need to spend. Because yes, it's a weapon for your black belt, but your black belt's realistically not doing anything anyways, right? And Bane will just carry you through as much of the early as you need. Now, I guess without the bridge, you can't go straight to Provoca, so there is an argument to be made for having the black belt. But in that case, I think you'd rather have your thief have a weapon than your black belt.
I made a critical error there in the fact that I spent too much money and actually couldn't save, and
Oh,
then took an encounter.
yeah,
Um, and I could have easily wiped right there and had to redo my whole party,
yeah.
which would have. All right,
Okay,
here we go.
I don't like this at all, but we'll see what happens. So the reason I don't like this is with Monster in a Box, I think checking these chests
Yep.
is super dangerous. Okay, so you recognize that, but I know that we want money, but I mean that's not the worst thing that could have happened there, and you can still kill. Oh, you don't check the. Oh God, why?
Yeah, I know.
That
What was I even thinking? And
I
then,
was like, take your monies and run. Oh
and
God.
there we go. Yeah.
Okay, at this point, I don't mind going back and killing the giants, but
See?
okay, okay. So yeah, I think checking these boxes is questionable in pods to begin with, but I would be yeah. I mean, Bert is saying, what if it's the bridge? But Bane in particular is especially bad at like dealing with a lot of these types of things.
Yeah, and you could tell I had no interest in taking on those green Ds again.
Hmm. Actually, I guess an alternative there. You did save, so maybe saving outside of this is where I'm not so familiar with the meta, right? So maybe saving outside and checking those boxes is just correct.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, I did the yeah, I you're probably right though. I think I was more concerned about money stuff, but then I
yeah.
realized what does it really matter? I just didn't have any money.
I think Bert's
And
argument
look at how expensive all this stuff.
I think Bert's argument is actually the correct one. Maybe it is worth checking them, but you're not checking it for money. You're checking it for the bridge because being able to go to Provoca early is a huge advantage, and I would feel horribly behind if I wasn't able to go to Provoca while my opponent was. So
Yeah,
I think there's an argument to be made to check them, but I think this is going to bring back the save outside of Toph meta if we're going to go with that.
yeah.
So
I think most of my main stuff I want to talk about is just like how like I just feel like I do too much in cities sometimes. Like I'm like I went to the magic shop, I went
yeah,
back into the armor shop, and I didn't. There was nothing I could get in the armor shop, so why was I in there?
yeah.
Like
I mean, with this
I don't know.
comp, I think it's worth checking. But something I talk about with the Ducks is having in order to increase your scan speed, pick up what you're like, have an idea in mind about what you're looking for, because that way you're not reading and processing
Mhm.
each item. Instead, you're just trying to look for a specific thing, and that identification is faster than like
Yeah.
reading and processing like chain plus three, blah blah blah. With this comp, all that really matters is silver bracelets, gold bracelets, and pro rings, right? Those are really
Now, I
the
don't
only
know if
things that you're going to care about.
yep.
So
Yeah. I was gonna say the black belt can't equip the bracelets, but I guess that doesn't really matter anyway. But yeah, you're
yeah.
right.
So I think going into the armor shop is totally okay, just with the thought process that I'm just going to look quickly for those bracelets and the pro rings, and then if they're, I'm not even going to buy them. So it's just going to be literally pop my head and is there anything in an area that I care about? If yes, file it away. If no, move on. Um, and then I think the weapon shops I would skip entirely, but I could see an argument because Bane's a little sketchy
Hmm.
to like dive marsh with. It's totally fine for like getting to level 6 though on the overworld here. So okay, so we go to here this monster in a box, man.
Yeah. I mean, what are the odds that you would get monster like three monster in a box in the first like four
Hmm.
chests you know, it's
Yeah,
insanity. And then guess what we're about to get?
another monster in a box.
A fourth monster in a box in five chests.
I think
So
I think it just it makes the tent plays so much more important, like the cabins and things like that prior
yeah,
to
you
going
saw what I
anywhere.
did there.
Yeah, which is a really good play. Um,
And I got ambushed there, so I'm like, I know what those are. I want to go back for it.
Bane's not going to be great against these, but I mean it will work. I'm
I don't
surprised. Oh, okay, Bane's good enough. Maybe. I want to say Bane's like
potentially.
40% on these, 30%. They're not dragons, so they're not like, or sorry, they're not dinosaurs, so they're not like 100%. But yeah, okay, cool. All for a tent, but like these are good levels that you're getting. Like Monster in a Box is like B-side trap tiles just everywhere, right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
um,
I'm pretty sure all the monster in the boxes are B-sides. And so here, because I lost one of my guys, I wanted to at least keep.
yeah.
I didn't want to go two man this early, so that's why I decided to go to Elfland now versus going to Marsh Cave.
No. 100. I mean, there's no way you dive Marsh before you go to Elfland here, right? Your spells are
Yeah,
terrible for Marsh. Yes, you have Warp, which is good, but Monster in a Box is just going to ruin your day, right? So I think this is an easy Marsh play. And also, not only that, remember how I was saying earlier about like not going down to the two man until you're really comfortable with your like dungeon clearing?
yeah.
100%. This is like you want three at least, I'd say for Marsh. So I would probably even go back up to four, just knowing that how easy it's going to be to kill off a Black Mage or a Thief. So obviously three nukes
Well,
pick up here. Oh, go ahead, Gregley.
well, I was just gonna say we'll see what I decide to do. I think I decide which one has the most levels and keep the other one down.
I think
So
I think three is totally defendable here as well. So here the silver plus twos immediately come to mind. This is at 1.5 times speed though, and you just spent like five
my
seconds.
whole life,
Yeah.
yeah,
So the strategy once again there to pick to speed that up is to just have in mind what you're looking for, because realistically, you're not purchasing anything you care about right now, anyways. I like that you
Yeah.
didn't check level 4 magic here.
Yeah, because I couldn't afford it anyway.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't have
yeah.
the
That's a
money.
really good play, and you're coming back for the adamant, so that's like something that I don't think a lot of ducks would do, but I think that that you are doing.
Mm.
Sorry, just quickly
So
taking a
you'll
look at
notice.
chat. Okay, 40 monsters in the boxes. Does not include key items. Yeah. What's up, Gregory?
Oh,
Oh,
nothing. I was just. Yeah, exactly.
the Galaxy Brain play. Okay, okay. I mean, I'm a big fan of Marsh Top first, but I mean, yep, that works. Okay,
Yeah. So
we leave. Yeah.
yeah, and then at this point, I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have found that so early. I could have maybe found some money in a box and been able to get that adamant. But
Yeah, that's fair.
and then what do we do here?
This is
So
the easiest Crescent Lake play in the world, right? You don't want to take any levels or. Oh, I guess we have the canal, but oh, we have the canal. Okay, canal changes things. Provoca. I would go to
Boca.
Provoca, and then I would go probably to Ordeals. Maybe. Probably Provoca to Earth tile checks, and then maybe to Ordeals to Crescent Lake to Ice Cave or something like that is what I'm thinking.
Right. So
Uh,
that's basically exactly what I do. Minus, you'll notice there's a thing in my inventory, and
the
we'll
Ruby.
get to that here in a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, probably.
yeah.
Dead Pulse saying hell yes Ordeals. DVS saying Marsh Trap changes the meta. Interesting. Bottom first all the way. I'm gonna need some explanation on that. I don't understand where the Marsh Trap changes that. Like I don't want to grind in Marsh Cave, and I don't want to grind at level
Well, yeah.
6.
No, and I totally get that too. I mean, I guess when you got warp at level 1, it doesn't really matter. And
hmm
plus, some nukes you could throw out there.
hmm
I don't know. Like, I get that Marsh Top is closer. There's 4 chests there, but you can hit the link chest on the way down,
hmm
and there's still more chests down in Marsh Bottom, but it does take longer to get down there.
That's
So
fair.
it's like you're still playing the odds. Anyway, you'll notice. Okay, go on ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think buying Temper in slot 1 here is better than buying Brack. You're gonna cast Brack, well, depending on your luck, like 10 times throughout the whole seed. You're probably gonna cast Temper more than that, especially because you're like, Dandoff Black Mages are, Black Mages, Thief, Dandoff Thief, and Dandoff Black Mage. This level 2 Temper is gonna be one of the primary things they're casting in Topher alongside the level 3 Nuke. So I would just buy it in a different
Mhm.
order here.
Okay, good call.
Um, yeah, like,
So I'm grabbing Temper for my dead
mhm.
thief because he's already level 5.
Oh
So I
yeah.
figured I could just bring him back for,
Oh,
thing
that's
stuff.
another massive no-no that I try and avoid just for menu optimization is to have spells in different spots on different characters because like if
Wait,
Temper's in
where did you see that?
no, like you just bought Temper on your thief, right? On your dead thief, but your
Yeah.
other ones you bought Brack for, right?
No, I think I brought Breck for dead too as well.
Oh, okay, never mind then. I was just gonna say like if I really would avoid that where it's like Brack Temper Temper Brack Temper or something like that because it just fucks with your menuing so badly. Okay,
Oh yeah, it's
Crown.
bad.
That's pretty easy turn in. Why are you checking the shop here? Do you need to buy something?
No, I guess not because I have already seen
The
the
adamant. Yeah,
adamant, so I'm not sure why I was checking that.
yeah. Well, it just comes.
I don't think I had seen houses yet,
That's fair.
but
It just comes down to deliberate play, right? It's like the biggest thing that I emphasize in the VOD reviews is just like make sure your plays are deliberate, and it's not about overthinking. Like don't pause, but just have an idea about why you're doing any action. Final Fantasy Randomizer actually has a lot of dead time in it. There's a lot of time where you're just walking, where vets like yourself can autopilot. Like, sure, you can say you're like a middle tier runner, but that doesn't mean that you don't know how to like run a dungeon. You
mhm.
have the dungeon maps like the back of your hand. You can autopilot Volk. You can autopilot Earth, right? And all that time is time that you have an advantage over Ducks and other newer runners, where you can be thinking about like what the next deliberate play you can do is, right? So
Got it.
same thing
Okay.
there, like with the pirates. You're killing the pirates, but the pirates, there's no thinking. You just go swing, nuke, nuke, and then you wait. And during that time period, you want to be thinking like, that's when I'm thinking about my routing and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Astos, of course, is the right play. That's really unfortunate.
Yep. Don't even want to see that animation. That's annoying.
That was the right play, 100%. Um, Now, of course, you got level 3 nuke, but I would still argue that buying that staff was just like 10 to 15 seconds of wasted time to like buy it and equip it and all that jazz.
No, I actually, the more I watched the seed go by, the more you were absolutely correct. I
Mhm,
guess it was just because I had Bane at level 1,
mhm.
but even then, that could have killed Garland.
Yeah,
So I
this
picked it up.
I think the only time I check weapon shops is if I can't kill Garland, which is pretty bad. I like the Matoya play here. This makes a lot of sense. No problem at all turning this in. I would save. So with once again monster in a box meta, I'd probably be saving outside. Like
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked I didn't save right here.
yeah, well it's really uncommon to save before you go into a safe dungeon, right? But that's the way she goes.
And then that money helped me out monstrously there. That's my adamant and
Yeah.
level 4 magic spell money.
So DVS is saying unless you want to save scum, but I think there's no item in this game with this comp that you're save scumming. Power bonk, white shirt, um, even potentially the tail, which is probably the worst item that you could pick up there. I would probably not save scum it. So because keep in mind the ninjas with items is going to be so much more powerful. Um, so you decided to go Crescent Lake before Ruby turn in ordeals. I think this is okay. Um, I would not make this play if you didn't have warp. But like what
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking is once I have once I'm out of the inner sea, quote unquote, I only want to come to Crescent Lake when I'm also gonna do probably Ice Cave and Volcano. Yes, it's a
Mm-hmm.
quick check, but like I kind of want to clear that map at once, especially when I can go try and get my grind done first on Earth, and I also have ordeals available. But that's just me. I think this play is totally defendable. I think it's just if you like come to Crescent Lake only, you're not doing Ice Cave, and then you go back to the ship, it's not great.
Yeah. Find fast.
Mm-hmm.
That lets me know where fast is.
Mm-hmm.
And
The tail. Want, want.
and
Reset.
yep.
Nice. Okay, cool.
And there we go.
That's a great play. Well, I don't know if I would have gone there in the first place, but the reset is obviously a great play. So really nicely done. Um, you can afford the adamant, I assume. Otherwise, you're not coming here. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
You're
got
rich as all heck.
yeah. I'm buying silver bracelets for everybody
That's a
that's
great play
alive.
too. No, that's a really good play. See, this is the type of stuff, Gregory, that I don't see when I do the duck VOD reviews. Not to offend the ducks, but just like the like picking up those silver bracelets when you come here, buying your stuff, and then checking your magic. Like your play in Elfland, I think has been like excellent. Like you checked the weapon shop, you checked the armor shop, you didn't check level 4 magic when you had no money. You came back, bought the adamant, bought your level 4 magic, and now you never have to come back here. So you double dipped Elfland, but you double dipped Elfland like perfectly because you got nuke when you needed it, then you left. So that's all really good.
Yeah, I had to come back here because I was out of heals.
Oh okay.
And they didn't. Oh no.
This is fair.
Yeah,
No no,
they didn't have heals there in Elfland.
that's a good play too,
I was
actually.
hoping.
Because when you leave the inner sea, one of the biggest problems is that the only places that you can shop is like Onrak when you go to Onrak continent. And if your idea is to go like Earth to ordeals or something like that, then yeah, this is better. So cool. Cube. Okay. So
Yeah,
this
so
is where you forget to turn in the ruby, I assume.
I do forget to turn in the ruby here, and it's just I forgot I had it. I forgot I had it in my inventory. And it's right there. That's why I have the tracker, just right there, just hanging out
Yep.
right in front of me, hanging it, looking at me.
Good. I like the Hall of Giants check first. I think it's the better check than checking the box.
Yeah.
Yep, those are both
No.
garbage. Let's go check the box. I do tend to check the bottom left room first, but I think this is fine. The reason I check the bottom left room is just because if I'm going to take the grind, I would rather be in the room where I can take the safe tile, but there's a trade-off of like how likely the grind is to be good.
Well, I'm using the auto tracker here, Clementitas, because I mean Jack made it, so people should use it.
It's also your streaming.
And I'm streaming, so it's easy for everybody to pay attention. And like, if they're watching, they can be like, "Oh, he's got this, that, and whatever." Otherwise, I won't have a tracker up at all.
Yeah.
I either will use this auto tracker for those that are watching, or I'm not going to use it at all. And I see this Saria here, and I'm like, that's interesting. But then it dawns on me just how.
It's fine.
I mean, 886. It's
think
only
it's
1 to
fine.
2 Sarias.
I think it's fine. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I might have considered taking that 4 giant tile Saria, like, just burn 3 nukes on it and gotten up to level 16 and maybe killed my Black Mage off then. It would have been a consideration I had in Earth. But I think everything you've done so far is okay, other than, of course, not turning in the Ruby there. And yeah, Clementitas, just to give you some context, I know Rock Solid, what he does is he actually uses the auto tracker, but puts it behind his ROM, so he's not practicing with like the auto tracker. But it's super helpful for people who are streaming, so that way their viewers can see what's going on. So I would recommend it.
Yeah, I actually am like rock solid as well. Like I have the auto tracker up for people watching the stream and that's it. Like I'm not actually using clearly I'm not using it because I didn't even bother turning the ruby in. It's staring me in the face. So
Yeah. Black belt master gets rewarded, checks the bonus tile, finds Agamas. Let's see how much HP they have. Okay, yeah, this is looking pretty good. So we're wait, what? We're leaving?
well, because you got to go through. I don't want to solo grind or do a crazy grind and then potentially run into something ugly on the next 2 spike tiles on the way out.
So the idea is that you're gonna like figure out ordeals and then potentially come back and grind it.
That was the plan in my brain.
Okay, that's fair. And you're danning off of this is fine.
I'm moving some people around. I'm not sure what I'm doing, to be honest with you. I thought I would move the.
It's all
Maybe
good.
I'm considering that whole thief thing, or not thief thing. What am I trying to say? The luck on the thief.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine a scenario where I would want my thief to be dead.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Medusas are good too. You kill this for sure.
Yeah, of course. The problem with Medusas is I can't solo it without any sort of AoE.
No. With the black belt, you need to just be high enough level. Cool. That vanilla poison touch.
Yeah. Yeah, you like that.
Okay, first item, Oxyale. What are you opening boxes for here? Ribbon? Defense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just anything that can keep somebody besides a black belt alive.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I still have temper pretty low level, so if push comes to shove, I can head into Topher at like not optimally high level and still get through.
I think just the only reason I'm asking, and you had an answer immediately, is just like that's the type of thought process that's always going through my head. It's just like, why am I opening boxes? What's going to make me stop opening boxes? And once again, that's mentally preparing, so I don't need to do the thinking later, right? It's like, if I get a ribbon, am I going to stop? Yes, no, maybe. If I get the defense, am I going to stop, right? And if you're always processing that, at least to some extent, whenever you have downtime, which is all the autopiloting that someone like you can do, that will help.
Yeah. It's hard for me not to check these boxes unless I'm like unless I last location ordeals.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
if ordeals is like the loot or something and I saved it for last, then it's one of those situations where I will then at that point not check any of the boxes. But it's so little steps. I mean, it's literally like maybe 6 steps to check all those boxes.
Okay, so we got some people hanging out in chat. I want to vote in chat. Who would go do their black belt grind on that Agamas like before we left ordeals? I'm pretty seriously considering it. The reason, for reference, I'm considering doing that black belt grind is so that way I can just like full clear the rest of this game as I'm going. But we do have Brack. That's one of the big considerations I'm thinking of here is that I have Brack for Kraken, so I can easily go into C. Without like finishing the black belt grind. But like if I didn't have Brack here, I would be really strongly considering taking those Agamas to like 32 on my black belt. I don't know what you're thinking there, Gregley.
I was thinking I'm in the area. The Brack definitely was like, oh, I've got Brack. I could probably take on Kraken. I was thinking grab a couple more key items and go back in with like 10 or so percent EXP more. Plus, again, I still got to get through the Gurmadeuses to get out of there. Plus that Spectre Geist battle, which I didn't see anything because I was able to get away from him before anything happened. So it's 2 spike tiles I potentially have to get through. And I don't love grinding in ordeals, but you're gonna find out exactly why I don't love grinding in ordeals here in just a moment. So
okay, so we're gonna go do waterfall, right?
Yes, of course.
Why are we coming here first? Did you want?
I was looking for
houses?
I think houses.
Yeah.
Houses.
Okay. I make this.
That's why I didn't go to ordeals because I didn't have any houses. Therefore, I didn't have any nuke charges. That's why I No.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, I see. So when you left, you had no houses, therefore you. Okay, okay, that makes sense. I actually make that exact same play where I check that item shop when I need houses, and if I don't get it, I go into the inn like begrudgingly. So I like that play.
Hmm. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. I had to think about why I wouldn't have gone back into ordeals right then, because again, like you, I'm like, why wouldn't I have done that? And then I had to make up some excuse just now. But yeah, it was because I didn't have houses and I wouldn't have been able to kill the Agamas efficiently.
Chat's pretty split on whether or not they would go back in. I just based off watching some pretty good runners, I've been trying to emulate them a little bit more. And one thing that I've taken is that I don't think key item experience should be a consideration for the grinds at 5% basically at all. But I do think safety and like spell charges and things like that absolutely should be. But if you have a
Right.
grind you can take and it's in front of you, you take it because it's going to from that point onward, from that moment you take the investment on the grind, it's going to start paying you off in terms of safety, in terms of speed, in terms of running, in terms of all these various things. And that's almost always going to be better than taking one less fight because you're getting 20% more key item EXP, right? So,
So,
it, yeah.
oh, well, I was just gonna say I'm down to what I like to call Bill and Ted mode here.
Hmm.
So black well, I say black mage is down permanently, but the black mage is not technically down permanently, and you'll see why here in a moment, and I'll explain why I decided to do what I did.
Hmm.
So unfortunately, checking these boxes is gonna be rather annoying.
Yeah, I think your argument. So, unless, once again, this comes down to having a plan, right? If your plan is to take your black belt to 42, which I think it's hard to like say my plan's 42 right now, you could honestly probably stop checking boxes if you really want to go with monster in a box. But if your plan is I'm not sure, then I think checking for a ribbon is going to become more important, right? So just
Yeah, well,
consideration.
I would hate to. Here's my deal. I would hate to go into Topher with like maybe ooh katana big pickup. I would hate to go into Topher with like a potential sub 21 thief that's gonna have like
Hmm.
42 MDef. The first boss I get is Lich, and I get bad turn order, and he opens up with Zap and like basically murders
Right.
everybody but my black belt, and then I gotta like solo the rest of Topher.
Right.
So to me, it's just so important to have a ribbon on at least one of my thieves.
That's fair. And I think that's sorry. I'm not proposing that you shouldn't open boxes. I'm more proposing that you have that thought process done in advance, so that way you know when you're going to stop opening boxes. I guess.
Yeah. So I'm about to get all the hate in the world because I'm going mermaid side first, and that's fine.
No, I think this
You
is.
guys can.
I think this is okay. Um, Now, usually you go to mermaids when you want one of two things. You either want levels or you want gear. I don't. I
Yeah.
think you actually kind of want both, especially with a two-man comp. So I think this is totally fine.
Well, and there's also the the difference between the chests and just how quickly you can get to the chests, right?
Hmm.
So, for instance, there's 13 chests on the way to Kraken. There's the two in the hallway, and then there's 11 in Sharknado, I think. Or is it 11 total? I don't remember. And there's 13 total in Mermaids, and there's no encounters. So all you got to do is get down to Mermaids, which is why I'm beelining Mermaids,
Hmm.
and have just such a greater chance of picking up whatever your key item happens to be.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not sure if I find the key item here. I'm pretty sure I don't. I'm pretty sure it's not here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
The
I don't remember.
the fact that the key item's not here has no relevance on your play or not, though. Like, of course, it matters in the middle of the race. You're going to think about that, but and I think that like makes you think whether you're ahead or behind. But in terms of decision making, I think the decision making for mermaids or not is whether you're here exclusively for the key item, whether you're here for key item or just items in general, or whether you're here for levels and need some levels before you go
Excuse
kill
me.
Kraken, right?
Yeah,
This Kraken fight's pretty sketchy. With only one Brat caster. I'm assuming this is why you bring up your second Black Mage.
it's why I bring up everybody
Everybody.
because
Okay.
everyone has Brack.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
So my favorite thing in the history of time is, of course, clearing
Ooh.
mermaids. Oh, and a ribbon.
Okay. Are we done with boxes now?
No, because I got to find the
No,
key
no, no,
item
no, no.
down here.
Sorry. Optional boxes. Whenever I say done with boxes, I don't mean like literally the ones that contain the incentive. I mean like, are we done with opening non?
I'm done with opening that box.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what's in that box.
At this point, is this is a question that I have for chat. I don't actually have an answer for this, but at this point, is there a consideration on filling up our inventory? to stop the monster in a box monstrosities. You've already hit like 10 of them, so there's like 30 left.
Yeah. I hadn't really given it that much of a thought because I hadn't really thought of that meta, but you're not wrong. And I'm sure that I've missed a few monster in a boxes from not later on from having a full inventory.
Mm-hmm. It's just a consideration. I'm not sold on it yet. I know Monster Box is doing all sorts of funny things, and to be honest, I haven't really wanted to interact with it that much, but I'm gonna have to soon, so I'm gonna be doing some runs of it. Overall,
Yeah.
so Gregory, like just my thoughts so far is that you're playing well. I think one big thing that I've always like thought for you is that you're a good executor, but you're not a great executor. And I think the reason that your execution isn't like 100% is just because your prior thought isn't there. So that way you're often making decisions and you're making the right decisions, but you're making them in real time. So I think just thinking ahead of time, so that way you have the brain power, like you can spread your thinking further, if
Hmm.
that makes sense. Make the decisions ahead of time. Other than that, I mean, the routing all seems to make sense. I really liked the play from Crescent Lake to reset out. That was really good. No weapon shop, obviously, but that's minor. No, I wouldn't probably have checked the shop in Provoca, but that's also pretty minor. But like, I don't think you've lost that much time on really anyone here. If you're going to be, if you're going to be losing this race at this point, I think the big thing you might have lose it to is if someone has already done their grind and they're getting advantages from that and you're going to grind later, and if you wipe at some point. But other than that, I mean, there's not much to say, right?
Yeah, I kind of really lucked out there because of where the bottle was located.
Mm-hmm.
Because either you check mermaid side first and find it when I found it,
Or
or you go Kraken side first and you last location that bottle.
yeah,
Because you're not checking that box early, in my opinion. But that's just how I play. Luckily, I found a house down there, so I didn't actually have to save in the end. Yay!
yay! I actually always just walk to um the place there instead of warping out twice because I think walking there and walking back is almost as fast as warping out and walking back down. But you had a house, so all good. Um, are you checking the So I guess the
Well,
question is, there's two levels of boxes here, right? You're either checking the greed boxes or you're full clearing, and I'm assuming you're just checking the greed boxes, right?
I may check the greed boxes. We'll see what I decide to do.
Yeah.
Oh, Falchion +2, totally worth.
So what are you opening boxes at this point for? I think the defense is a huge prize, a second ribbon, but outside of that, there's not that much that could really benefit you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm thinking is those things. I'm also thinking of my grind
Hmm.
situation. So, for instance, like a black shirt would be really nice
Hmm.
to get the Agamoth down. A
Hmm.
mage stick would be really nice to take down the Gurmaduses
Hmm.
if I can't if the Agamas don't work out. So that's what I'm thinking in my mind. Is like some sort of AoE I could throw on that black belt so that I can take down those particular mobs.
So the thing that's immediately coming to mind, oh, okay, you don't take an extra step there. The thing that is immediately coming to mind with this particular seed is that I really kind of want to be grinding in the desert, I think, because of I noticed that your first encounter is like in like 4 steps or something like that, eh?
Yep.
So I
Yep.
would be
Let's.
strongly considering the desert as well. Instead of like trying to think about how I can get to those agamas, which are in an awful spot, I would be thinking like, can I just get sandworms and just safety grind?
Hmm. We'll
Um,
get there.
okay.
Oh,
Just,
we'll get there. All
uh,
right, so yeah, I brought everybody back to life for that brack, and of course, Burt Reynolds is probably going to freak out because I landed that first turn brack on Kraken. I'm pretty sure he said he missed like 15. So
so at this point, you probably are recommitting to danning off your mages, right?
yeah, I'm gonna kill everybody off.
Yeah, that's fair. I probably would have moved them on Kraken so that like my two characters I want to kill off were in slot 1 and slot 2, just so Kraken could do the work for me again. But that's a small optimization. But something I notice when Thunder plays a lot is that he'll often like prepare for his grind by killing off characters on the fiends before he goes and grinds, if that makes sense. So just
Yeah.
something to consider about using Kraken. But like you're aware of this stuff. I feel like I'm just preaching to the choir.
No, 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 no. But you're right. I'm not exactly too sure why I kept dead question mark and puff up front when I should have probably, like you said, put them in the back. So here we go. We're coming back here because why turn in the herb? Why? I mean, it's right there. I could go up to fuck the place. Sorry, excuse my language. I could go up to the place and turn in the herb, but I
No,
mean, it's
this is
time.
fine. This is fine. This is fine.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be fine.
Sweet
I'll be
Luz,
right back.
super unimportant question. Why is it Danning? I have no. I think I think it was just an old school, like, I don't know. FFR community is all about their like memes from like 3 years ago, so it's probably something to do with that. But yeah, it's killing off your characters to redistribute EXP. Um, the more you know, exactly. Okay, so what's possibly going to go wrong in this grind?
What?
I said, what could possibly go wrong in this grind? Now, I will say that this multiple Agama tile has been the bane of my existence in multiple seeds now, so it's not super high on my grind list anymore. Um, we'll
You're
see.
gonna find out in a
we'll
second
we'll see what it
how
does to
how
you.
great this grind goes.
Also, of course, it's not on the safe tile, but
No, so I'm taking extra encounters. I don't think there was anything scary on any of the monsters in here, but
no, this, I mean, so far so good. What could possibly go wrong? I think you might be killing off your characters a little early, but I don't think I need to
yeah.
teach you how to set up a black belt grind. Uh,
No, you're absolutely 100% right that I may have been a little too aggressive because I knew the Agamas rolled like pretty low. It looks
mhm,
like they're about 255.
but they punch
So
hard.
by the time I get the yeah, by the time and this was a huge mistake. You're about to see why this was a huge mistake here in about 2 seconds. I didn't heal up before this battle, and
Hey, guess what? You know what
here we
happened
go.
to me in my first spring tournament matchup? That exact same thing happened where I got punched by 4 Agamas to death on a 300 HP black belt. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's not just you.
Yeah, so
Uh,
I thought, oh well, that was stupid. I should have healed up beforehand. Let's try this one more time.
so Andrew's asking, I've been watching these for years and I still don't understand the stake Tyra question. So what it ultimately comes down to is just exp is basically like, when you eat you level up, so exp food tyros worth exp, therefore they are stake. And then the wings, because the other wyvern has wings, I think. I don't know, don't ask me for a history lesson. I'm here for gameplay analysis. I'm sure there's other streams for history lessons on FFR things.
Yeah, basically. So again, we're getting set up again for this solo grind.
It's going
It's
well.
just yeah, it's going really well. As you can tell, Puff's doing really well. As you can see, I throw out this quad X because I'm so scared that Puff's gonna die right there.
So you kill your person off again. Do you heal him? I feel like you need to keep your thief up longer here, but
Yeah, probably a good idea, but whatever.
it is unfortunate that your
What
black
do
belt
I
can't
know?
equip ribbons or
Yeah, it's no,
bracelets.
it's the bracelets. That's what's killing me.
Hmm.
If I could like put a silver bracelet on him,
Hmm.
this would be a no-brainer.
I mean,
And
silver
as you can see,
bracelets
I'm making
plus 3 is what, only 22 absorb, but plus the ribbon, so it'd be like 26. So it'd be slightly better.
yeah, look at all these awesome hits I'm getting with my frickin' and then that crit, and I'm like, no, that's enough of that.
I think that
So,
grind was doable, but we underestimate Agamas because Agamas are the like FFR punching bag, right? Traditionally, but I
well,
think
they also had like 250 HP, so it was making no sense that
yeah.
the first time through at level 21, I was one-shotting them, and that particular, I just wasn't, I wasn't able to one-shot them, so it was just like, I was like, what is going on here? Why can't I kill these things?
So I think this comes down to mitigatable versus unmitigatable things, and the things that are unmitigatable here are you getting crit, you punching like garbage, all that jazz, right? But I think the mitigatable thing here is just keeping up 2 party members so that way they can distribute the hits, right? So going thief, black belt in like slot 1 and 2, distributing the hits and like committing to a 2-man. Not only that, remember one of your big concerns was that your thieves were just gonna die, right? Which means you have an active want to keep your thieves up in Topher, like based off your strategy that you've been explaining to me, right? Therefore, you want some HP on that thief. So I think taking a thief to like 25 or something with your black belt is totally fine there, especially because the thief has frickin' nuke, right? And nuke was one of the best ways to take out those Agamas.
Yeah.
Um,
So DVS wondering why punching instead of nuking because I wanted them thieves dead, man.
yeah.
It's time to solo grind. I knew at 21 I could. I knew at 21, barring bad RNG, which I got 2 times, obviously,
Hmm.
that I should potentially be able to take down Agamas in 4 rounds.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that just wasn't working out because of how hard they were hitting.
But I mean,
And
like,
I couldn't equip one of those silver bracelets.
so looking at the worst case scenario though, right? So worst case scenario is you get hit 4 times, then 3 times, then 2 times, then 1 time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means you get hit 10 times, and they're averaging 30 to 50 damage, which means your black belt dies 100% of the time at 10 worst case happens.
Yeah.
That's too sketchy for me. So that's where I'm thinking the 2-man is way safer, right? Because unless the same person gets punched all 10 times, not only that though, you're taking them out in 2 rounds instead. So you're probably actually getting a better grind off with a 2-man there rather than the 1-man right away. And then you can go down to 1 when your black belt's like 26 or 27 and has the additional HP, right? Because the agility or the not agility, the vitality really kicks in as you're hitting those like mid to high 20s.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I think that makes way more sense.
Mm-hmm.
To just go safe. I was trying to be too aggressive
Yeah.
there. I was trying to just go on ahead and get that black belt grind out of the way at any cost.
If there's one takeaway, it's just that, like, we got to respect those 4 Agamas. It killed you. It killed me the exact same way, to be honest, in another seed I ran. So, like, it's not just you. Oh, that's unfortunate, but that's fine. Honestly, the decision to do the grind before turning in that herb, I do not think was incorrect whatsoever. I think the execution of the grind was problematic. So just separate the fact that you didn't turn in the herb from the grind not going well, right? Because yes, the herb was the floater, but you lost almost no time. If you turned in the herb and then floated to ordeals, you would have honestly probably spent more time walking. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't hate that. It's just that was kind of a kick in the
Yeah.
the stuff. I
Well,
was
that's
like, oh
the problem, Gregory, for you is that exact play was race losing for you in round of 64-32, right? Against really good opponents. That's the moment you lose the race. So, I think that's what obviously a major thing that needs to be considered for
yes.
for that.
Yeah, so I think about that a lot. I think about what is the decision, what is the thing that's happening in this race that's going to cost me the race,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought about that right there. I was like, those wipes are costing me the race,
Yeah. And
especially because there isn't loose items,
yeah,
therefore, and I'm getting the tail here for the extra EXP because I
I
already know it's there. It's kind of I don't know why I did that. It's stupid.
it's okay. I just don't think that's worth it, but it's fine. So you go pick up Sarda here, right? Yeah. So you also obviously orphan the ruby, which is another potentially race losing thing. Now, I do want to change your language just a little bit. One, I know you're really hard on yourself, so you gotta be kind to yourself in a race. But two, it's what decision did I make that is race losing because I made the decision with the knowledge I had, right? It's not what decision I could make that's race losing that just happened to not work out because of something that was out of my control. When you're
Yeah,
analyzing your play, obviously when you're in the middle of the race, you should be accounting for ahead or behind based off the actual results. But when you're like trying to improve, it's about based off the information I had, did I make the right call or not? Um,
hmm
and I think both the grind, the decision to go down to 1 too early, and the forgetting the ruby actually is potentially race losing if that's like the floater super early or something like that, right? And you just totally forget about it. So
yeah. Which luckily it was the slab, so it wouldn't have mattered.
yeah.
And it's actually quicker to do the slab turn in this way than.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll notice I checked that because gold bracelets,
Yep.
because I hadn't seen bracelets yet, and they rolled negative, and I didn't buy them because they're the same as silvers.
Yeah, no, that's the right play.
So
I don't think you need to check black magic here. The reason is
okay,
because you found fast, lock, temper, warp, nuke, right?
yeah, not sure why I checked that either. I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh, it's okay. I mean,
Just force a habit.
exactly. That's the exact point I'm trying to hit is that it's a force of habit, but it's a force of habit that's the habit needs to change from I always check it to I'm looking for X. I need one spell I can name, and then I'm gonna check it.
I checked this too because I don't know.
It's not because you're dumb. It's just because of habit, right? You
Hey,
did skip the weapon
I
shop, armor shop though,
yeah,
so
I
good job.
did. And I skipped that. Like I'm like I don't need that. I got heals for days.
Perfect. Okay, so let's go
Yeah.
turn in. I think bottle slab here is obviously a good play. There's the chime.
Yep.
Slab. Yeah, slab next. This all makes sense. I'd probably encounter manipulate this area, but oh. See this?
You probably would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's pretty good, Gregley. It turns out. See, Gregley actually has a better, deeper understanding of not an understanding of the encounter table, but you have you're able to keep track of the encounter table for longer than I am. Actually, I know that based off listening to you play in your seed analysis. So, um, yeah, I'm not going to try and teach you about encounter manipulation. That's unfortunate. So
Yeah.
two R
Watch
kilos,
how
top right and
watch
bottom
how
right.
unfortunate this whole thing is. It's just so good. So we're finally here, and
This
this
is
is
the
the play you were
same.
talking about.
This is the same.
It's
No, no,
yeah,
no,
it's
no. That's the same encounter table though. That's the same encounter zone.
okay.
Um,
I wasn't sure.
So the way that you remember the desert, in terms of checking all four, is where you land on the floater, where
Mm-hmm.
you where you land the floater for desert, where you land the floater for Lefane, or just straight up from the floater. Straight
Okay.
left from the floater, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
up, uh, up at the Mirage level, and then the other top right one is just a Mirage. But like I always just check it the same way, just by going in a square, like where the floater is, straight across from the floater, straight up, and then straight right, and that's kind of will draw you the right box. So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, I do the same. I have a similar heuristic for Crescent Lake that I talk about all the time, which is just like using the rivers as boundaries, so that way you can remember um the four quadrants. That's a pretty good Tyro. It has no HP.
Yeah, it's
It's
fine.
mediocre. Wow, that is awful.
Yeah.
So you've already
You
checked all
ready? You
four
ready for this?
You've already checked all four encounter zones, haven't you? Yeah. That's
Yeah. Look.
so that's the same encounter zone as the one that you checked in Lefane, though, Gregley.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that, like I knew you checked four RN kilos, but they were actually just two encounter zones. I guess is what I'm saying. Um, okay. So we're gonna dive in
Well, I
here
mean,
with our 2-man before our
mhm.
grind. Okay. So what's your thought here? That you obviously this is going to be the key to the loot, right?
Yes,
No. You haven't done
exactly.
ice. You haven't done ice.
I haven't done ice yet. You're right. But I'm still thinking key to loot, and then ice is going to be power bonk,
Hmm.
hopefully, in my brain,
How are
in
you
my
fe-
dumb brain.
How are you feeling about levels? Oh, Clementina's saying repeating the Crescent Lake encounter table. I'll post that in the duck pond when I'm done. I just don't want to go too off. This is Gregley's VOD review, but yeah, it's really quickly verbally
Uh,
again. It's right of the river system. It's in front of Crescent Lake, below the river, to the right of the river, and then if you draw a boundary from the right river to the bottom river, it's the kitty corner to that. What were you gonna say, Gregley?
mm, what were you asking me?
Oh, I was just saying. How do you feel about this dive
I,
of?
f- I feel okay enough that I'm going to do it.
Okay.
So I don't feel too scared about it. I have fast on that thief.
Mhm.
We're already level 20, which means he at least has one cast of it, and I've got tempers for days.
Mhm.
So that's my goal against Tiamat here. Not
Yeah.
so much trying to brack him down, but you know, by the time I get up there, if I can get my levels, if I can get it, if I can take the battles I need to take that are going to be the quickest I can get
Mhm.
through, I should be in my mid to even late 20s by the
Yeah.
time I get there with this 2-man.
Yeah. Do you run a lot of 2-mans?
Not really.
Okay.
Which,
My impression of this is that this is a little bit risky. The reason is actually that you're just short on resources with 2-man. And I think it might be something like, in terms of your levels, obviously, if I had a 4-man up and Sky at level 21, I would feel 100% confident here, right? But you have 7 casts of nuke for this entire dive. So getting the walking grind here is going to be a little bit worse off than it would normally be. But this is definitely doable. It's just I don't think you're going to be able to take as many fights as you might want to. So I don't think it's the
well,
worst play, but just a consideration.
yeah, of course. I was always planning on warping out of this room anyway, so
Mhm.
I already gained 3 levels
Yeah, this is great.
just checking those boxes alone. Get that dragon
And
sword.
now you house.
Gonna go on ahead and yeah. And now I house up. I accidentally cabined, so I had to house again,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
fine.
go back in after the hard reset.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna find out. Remember those 7 red birds that I was able to kill with no problem? Well, we're gonna find out what they have here in about 2 seconds.
I mean,
Yeah, look at that.
that's a
Give me a
reset, right?
yeah. Well, I don't know why I didn't reset here. I should have already reset the second my black belt died. So that's a total dumb.
It's okay. D- Try to not focus too much on like mismenus to like cabins and things like that, right? Like those aren't decisions that you're making. That's just your fingers messing up or your brain turning off for a second, which happens to everyone. So I wouldn't like that's not something that you can really focus on to improve too much unless you're really focusing on never mismenuing again, which so yeah, that's fine. I really see this is once again where you're a good player in that you're able to know that you want to take 2 fights here before you get onto this floor to avoid those perilous. That's a really nice play. That's a good thing to pick up if you're a duck. Like Gregley Puff is using the encounter zone knowledge, going in on the same encounter, but then just taking his step route differently to manipulate what encounter he's getting on Sky
Because
Mirage 2 instead of Mirage 3.
Yeah, because I already knew there were going to be vampires on that floor
Right.
from checking the
Greater than less
whatever
than.
that room is. Thank you.
Yeah. And once again, this is where I'm saying Greg Puff has a really, really good understanding of the encounter table. And actually, you do actually what's the word? Execute on it. Like you actually use that knowledge in seed, and I've heard you use that knowledge in seed a few times. So I think that's a
Yeah,
good example of that.
and this is me trying not to use another Brack
Hmm.
charge,
That's
or
fair.
sorry, not Brack,
Nuke.
nuke charge.
Hmm.
But then it took me like my whole life to get through that battle.
That's fine. I think for this type of sky play here, this is where potentially the filling your inventory up saves you a bunch of time. Because at
Hmm.
this point, you're not really looking for any gear, right? The defense sword would be nice, but realistically, you just want the key item and go, right? And Sky with Monster in a box is awful. Never mind the fact you might just hit Paralysk or something and die.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. So standard sky play, in my opinion, here
is skip
is
the Bane
not to
chest.
check that bottom.
Mhm.
Yeah, skip the Bane chest.
So I've had a lot of discussions with people on this recently, and my opinion is that there's a couple different ways that all have various advantages and disadvantages, but as long as you've decided what your play is before you step into Sky, I'm okay with it. If you are like feeling or like changing it every time, I'm really against that because you want to be moving as many decisions once again as early in the seed as possible, as in before the seed. So just like have your way to route Sky and don't change from it.
Yeah.
um, and yeah, skipping the
So
Bane
I get
chest totally fine. That's the Dark Moon approach.
yeah. I just and I'm already level 26 here, so I'm
Mhm.
feeling pretty good about my levels at this point.
Yeah, this sky
Aegis
place worked
Shield.
out really, really well. I didn't consider that you would leave after doing greater than less than, but that totally changed the feeling of this sky play, right? Because you went from like kind of sketchy levels and not enough resources to pretty good levels and enough resources. So that's actually something that I maybe would incorporate into my gameplay. Is that if I'm not feeling great about the skydive, maybe just tech greater than less than and then warp out. Even though it takes a couple extra steps, but it really increased the safety of this dive, which I loved.
Yeah. That battle I decided to go full melee
Yep.
because I figured I could take it down in 2 rounds.
Hmm.
Same with this one.
Yeah.
Now this isn't great EXP,
Hmm.
but it's still,
So what something I'm finding really funny, just a quick comment, is that like you're so willing to get levels on both these characters now, but like on the Agama grind, you were like, no, the thief must die super super early.
I know, it's silly.
It's
But
okay.
I knew I
It's okay.
needed this up to get through this whole thing.
Right, which
You know
is
what I
which
mean? Like to get through this entire dungeon and to kill Tiamat, I need both people to be alive. Oh, look at that.
you picked that up again, right? You definitely do.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just checking the chest.
Hmm.
I was scared it was going to be a monster, to be perfectly honest.
So these are all weapons chests that you've got in these last few monster boxes, which literally do nothing. Also, so this is a theory that I have, but another theory craft I've been running in my head is to fill up with a black belt comp to fill up your weapons only and not fill up your armor. So that way you only open monster boxes with armor and open no weapons because you don't care about any weapons. So just another thing that I've been thinking about.
That's a good idea. I had never even thought to. I mean, I've thought of it, obviously. Here's the dumbest battle I could possibly take.
Yeah,
Why?
this is
Why
not a
am I
good battle to take. Um,
like? Luckily killed him, but it's just like 3 rounds to take down one thing.
yeah, that's not a good fight to take. You usually like single fights, but not here. This is good.
Dragon sword. Gonna do something here.
So you're getting good levels, and you have so many ribbons. It's so unfortunate your black belt can't equip
Can't
bracelets because
equip
this would be
the.
such an easy 32 black belt seed, but with no life, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's very scary.
Uh, Clementitas, would you buy gear to fill your weapon inventory? Yeah, this is like the buy a bunch of silver knives and throw it in all your inventory once you stop wanting to open weapon boxes. That's the way you
That
fill it.
that battle was kind of scary. I don't know what it is about the Medusa man cat battle. It always freaks me out.
And oh,
And here
TNT.
we go.
Okay, that's unfortunate because now you don't know.
Yeah, you have no clue. You don't know if you've. Well, I mean, we've already seen the white shirt. We haven't seen the power bonk yet.
Yeah.
That could have easily led to the power bonk, and the key could have led to the loot and ice cave, and this would have been all for naught.
Mhm.
Granted, I did 9 levels. I think I'm level 29, and I came in here at level 20.
Yeah. That last monster boss just lost you 30 seconds though for no reason, so you shouldn't have opened that box. You have 3 ribbons.
Yeah, I don't know I was
Yeah, yeah, it's okay.
smoking. Probably, yeah. Too much DDP. It's,
um, Another decision that people should make before they go onto the bridge when I'm doing um, the maze floor, I'm always thinking, am I going to take Warmick if I find it? I think here
Yeah.
you definitely kill him, right? But
Oh,
it's just something that you should think about before you hit the Bridge of Destiny. Like, once again, you're autopiloting through all this stuff, so I'm trying to give you like the triggers for when you want to be making
okay.
decisions,
Can
right?
you pause this for a second?
Yeah.
I want you guys to see just how important fast and temper is. So that first very punch from the black belt was 3 hits for 15,
Yeah.
16. It was pretty low, right?
Hmm.
So second hits 12 hits for like 154, and then we get a temper out, and then we're 12 hits for 455,
Hmm.
and then this next hit
It's
is
like
going to be 12 hits
900. Yeah.
for, yeah, exactly. So huge.
Oh yeah, dude. Temper fast, good spells. Okay, so you're gonna do the black belt grind now on the Tyros, I assume. Wait, what?
No, I'm killing off dead
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
I'm tired of him existing.
No, I okay,
But
you're
I'm
killing off
not.
dead, but then what's the plan?
There. I got the. I don't know yet. In my mind, I was thinking I'm going to go back to Agamas now that I have levels,
Hmm.
but I'm not sure yet. I was going to turn in the TNT, but I needed Dead to be gone because he has too many levels, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. I would probably just do
And
my
and there
Ty.
was.
I would probably just do my Tyro grind there. Just like
Mhm.
something. Who was I watching? I was watching Rock Solid earlier today, and something I just wanted to like yell through the screen at him, which obviously it wasn't like that bad, but he was wishy-washy. Should I go the katana strat? Should I do the black belt? So I'm gonna keep my options open. So I'm gonna like keep them all up, and then I'm gonna dance them off. But then I don't want to do this black belt grind because it might not be good. There might be something better. I think one of the most important things you can do in these flags is just like when you find a win condition strategy, commit to it and do it. Yes, it might
Mhm.
not be perfect, but the most dangerous thing you can do is like be wishy-washy for an hour, and then you hit an hour and you're like, okay, now I need to like consider all these options that I passed by, and maybe taken a wipe because I didn't do it. Like a good black belt seed is where your black belt's high level at minute 30, right? A good black belt seed is not when you've wiped a few times, you've gotten through stuff, and then okay, I have all my key items, and I'm gonna go grind my black belt for a few minutes.
Mhm.
So I think aiming for that and just like doing your black belt grind when it's available. All the ducks talk about win conditions. Wonder where they got that from. I have no idea what you're
Don't
talking
know.
about.
Don't know where they could have gotten that from. And this was a big dumb decision because I killed off my thief who has warp, and I checked the TNT. Like,
Yeah.
what am I thinking here? Like, just like 30 seconds that I'm losing there. Luckily, it's the key, and
Why?
I checked these
Why
boxes.
are we
What am
checking
I
these
doing?
boxes?
I don't know. I'm still looking for that stupid mage stick so I can kill Medusas or Black Shirt so I can kill those dumb
This
Agamas.
it's the exact mentality that I was talking about, which is just like you're always searching for like the next best thing or like the best thing that you can think of. But the reality is that Tyro grind would have easily gotten you just like 7 levels, right? Which is all you
I
need.
know.
And it
Yeah.
just was right there. Yes, it's not great, but you could have killed it. It was 100% safe. And it would have done the job, even if it would have done it slightly slower. But like all this navigating around, warp losses, blah 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 blah. Even like walking to ordeals would be atrocious. Like the time loss walking to ordeals, getting through ordeals, killing Agamas, going to the end of ordeals, walking out of ordeals, walking back to the floater, way longer than just the time spent killing Tyros for like
Time.
3 minutes,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I kind of disagree with this play, but
No, I agree. I agree with you. I agree 100%.
yeah,
I'm watching back. It's easy for me to judge my own play and be like, "Oh my god, what am I even doing right
yeah.
now?"
It's so. Oh man, I've watched my own play too. It's not good. I'm great at judging when I'm in the. Oh god, please
I
no.
know, and I didn't save, so I'm just like, I had to pause and look at those guys.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, and then of course it's the power bunk, so that lets me know that the loot is in Ice Cave. Don't even check the 2 boxes. Aren't you proud of me?
I am, but it's just like this is where I want to come back to the like thought process of like what am I going to open that's going to make me stop opening boxes, and I want it to be like a switch, especially with Monster No Box on, because you checked Dwarf Armory, but then you
Yeah, I
didn't
know.
open 2 boxes right. It's like that wishy-washiness is no good.
Yeah, it was just right there. There's like what? How many chests in that room? Like 10? 4, 3, 3. Yeah, it's 10.
Okay, so
Anyway,
once again,
so
you're checking grinds, right? But I think I just despise this that people like you found a good enough grind. You're gonna go to Northwest Castle next, aren't you?
yes, I am.
Yeah.
Guess what I'm about to find here, though?
I
The
don't think it
ultimate of
I
grinds.
don't think it matters though, because I think the
Mm-mm.
time that you've spent doing all this other stuff, you could have just been grinding your black belt, and it would have been faster. Like you would have been
Yeah,
done
you're
your
probably
black
right.
belt grind faster than checking all these other places.
Nah, you're probably right.
Wait, this isn't even
It's
a
the
good
whole.
grind. I mean, this is
It's
fine.
terrible.
Oh, I thought you were
Yeah,
gonna
because
find like
die.
eyes.
No, 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 no. It's pretty bad, and I have to reset out of it because I have to put a ribbon on them
Oh
so that I can deal with the stop.
god. Okay, so we're gonna go and wait. You're going back?
Hmm.
Oh, you've decided that that is the ideal location.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what see the EXP they give me versus what I can get from a Tyro is totally worth it. Plus, they're using their spells, and they have like 140 HP. So it's like,
I mean, I need an EXP check on Tyros, but I think Steak and Wings is still going to be worth like 4 to 6,000 EXP at least on a solo character here.
these guys give about 20,000.
Yeah. I mean, it's faster now, but I think you still would have been done your grind faster if you just took the desert. But um, yeah. Remember that 4 people raced this and Gregory won. Hey, I'm just trying to say what I can. It's not saying Gregory's Gregory is not bad at this
Oh,
game.
no. I'm saying that I just it ended up working out okay for me.
No, that was yeah. Bert was just saying mentioning that in chat. Okay, so we're
But
gonna go
but
punch.
we're
How high are we going?
I mean, you got to go all the way, right?
I think
Because
that's
I can't equip bracelets,
yeah,
so it's not like I can get into a battle with ribbons on against Kraken.
that's fair. I guess if
It
you're
just
gonna go
one
all the
shot me.
way, the Tyro grind is a lot worse. I was thinking if you're gonna go to like 37 or something, um then you go with like I was thinking more like a mid 30s grind and then just go into Topher. But if you're going to 30 42, then yeah, maybe the Tyro Steak and Wings grind isn't good enough.
Yeah, I mean, my yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, if I could put on a silver, if I could put on a silver +3 and get that extra absorb,
And the ribbon, yeah,
and the ribbon and the pro ring, which I think rolled up one,
yeah,
then I could stop at 32 with fast at level 6 and then tempers for days at level 2.
yeah. I don't know how far you've been watching Cheesinator, but the thieves do have black magic, so this is not a insanely difficult party with Nuke at level 3, Warp at level 1, and 3 black magic casters and a black belt. Like it's
And
not easy.
temper at
You
level
have no
2 as
white
well.
you have no white magic, but he also and Gregory also has 3 ribbons. Um why would you stop at level 37 for this late in the game? Topher grind? No. The reason I'm stopping at 37 is that I'm actually pretty comfortable with this party with like a mid 30s black belt. I'm just stopping at 37 to get enough MDef and absorb that I feel comfortable. But 42 is going to be better here. It depends on who
Hey,
I'm
you know
racing.
what?
Like if I'm racing someone who I feel like I have a 10-minute execution edge on, I'm going to grind my black belt to 42, maybe even on the Steak and Wings and just take some time. But if I feel like I'm even or slightly behind, I'm going to be going in earlier.
Yeah, I was gonna say Burt Reynolds talking about my cheat tracker. Hey, you know what? I forgot I had the ruby, so there you go. Cheat tracker didn't really help me out when I bothered to not even look at it.
Yeah. We were mentioning it earlier, but I think the tracker behind, like not using the tracker but having up for streaming is really good for viewers. Like it's been helping me and you, even in your VOD review, right? Just to keep track of where your items
Yeah,
are.
just to keep track of what's happening. Like, where are we? What are we looking at right now? What's next?
Hmm.
So there I am at 2. That didn't take. Well, obviously I don't have
That
my
was
timer
super
up because
fast.
for whatever reason I can't remember to start my timer whenever I do FFR bot
Hmm.
things. So
I think, Gregory,
um,
something to consider. I mean, you know how to play black belt comps, but the one of the big benefits of the black belt comp is just to stop opening boxes earlier. When your grind's done and your black belt's high level, you can stop opening boxes earlier. So you got the levels fast, but I think you just opened a lot of boxes along the way still.
yeah.
Just like look at how full your inventory is, right? Versus like when I run a good black belt seed, my inventory is just like empty. So yeah, I mean to be fair, you had to like full clear everything, and key was in sky and something was in sea that wasn't good. So yeah, but anyways,
CU had. I don't remember what C had. I don't think it was required, whatever it was.
yeah. Uh, yeah, exactly, Cheesy. If you need to undercut a high skill opponent or feel behind, or your grind came late, you can stop early, especially with fast available. Yeah, fast available is like one of the key decision makers here. Plus, I have 3 black casters. I can go fast, temper. And remember, Gregory, how you were saying what a difference fast temper makes? Well, you have a black belt who can get fast temper turn 1 and swing. So even if your black belt's 35. Now, once again, you know all this stuff,
I
but
was talking about the insta kills because there's quite a few in the pool, and then you've still got like your 1 in 4 nuclears on the skill side.
mhm,
It just it can happen with Zap and Bane coming out, and just the less MDef you have,
yeah.
and especially again, I cannot stress the lack of being able to equip the bracelet here.
Yeah, it's terrible. I agree. This I really do like for ducklings who are watching. This EXP distribution is like perfection. This is what that two-man comp does, right? Like when if you're running the like what I consider the classic pod lineup of like black belt, red mage, black mage, um, this is what you basically want your EXP distribution to look like. 42 black belt, mage with enough EXP, so like or with enough HP, so like red mage with like level 25, 26, or thief in this case level 25, 26, and then two mages who are anywhere from level 8 to level 15. And that's exactly what Puff has here, so that's really good.
Yeah, so at this point, not even bothering with battles
Yep,
anymore. Battles don't
100%.
mean anything.
I will note for people who are watching here that if your black mages are like level 2 at this point, which can happen and that's totally fine, I definitely prioritize taking like a couple battles because the amount of time it takes for them to go from level 2 to like level 10 is like 2 battles, and it's going to be a ton more spellcasts in Topher. So like you don't really want to be going into Topher with like a level 3 mage, you want to be going into Topher like a level 10 mage who can cast Temper 3 times or like 4 times and nuke like 3 times. So just a small note. But yeah, Gregley here 100% should be running from everything. Did you not open that box?
No, I did.
Okay.
What did I not? No, that was the monster in a box.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah.
I want to say it was like it was some dumb thing, and then I got monster in a box right afterwards, so
Yeah,
it
yeah,
felt
yeah.
really good.
I got spike tile confusion.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, monster in a box.
It's definitely the look at all that good knight gear I just picked up.
This is not a good knight
And
seed though. You haven't found a sword yet. I'd be so happy to have a black belt here. Though it's draft, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, not draft, it was 4 force,
I mean, sorry, but like
which is
all round of 64, 32, you're not losing on party selection.
oh no, not at all. And that's why I like draft. And there's my loot.
No more boxes. Good stuff. So we obviously proximity route volcano to earth to Topher here. This seed's pretty autopilot from this point onwards. I don't know what I'm gonna possibly correct you on, but we'll see. I think Topher
There's
strategy, but we'll see. I
I
would
doubt
take.
there's any. Actually, I learned something a lot from you doing the Clementitas thing. It's so easy to assume that you should avoid any of those non-damage tiles in Volcano 2,
Mhm.
but yet they're free tiles, so there's no reason not to
Oh,
make all those extra moves.
yeah, in front of the door. I
So
learned that from
yeah, in
Cheesemater
front of the
actually.
doors.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So.
It, it was just funny once you said that. I was like, why have I done it that way? Like I know that the doors
Mhm, mhm,
are free, you know?
mhm.
And one of the main things I like to do here, which is like totally disrespectful, but I don't even heal up because it's
No,
just
no,
a lot of extra moves.
that's not
And if they
disrespectful.
die, I can just res them somewhere.
I would make the exact same play there. It's a little unfortunate that you don't have life, but like I would make the exact same play. Faster to go right there, I think, but maybe not. I think it's
I
negligible.
don't know.
I think it's
I
negligible.
think it's.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think ship routing's actually like negligible ship routing tends to be important because it can often lead to an extra encounter, but floater routing, like when it's like one tile difference. I don't know, chat, anyone done floater timing? Right or left
Yeah, I
from volcano
really
to earth? I feel like it's right, but
like. I feel like I could spend a lot of time
it's
doing routing box checks and
nah.
determining
Gregory,
what's.
if you lost this seed, it's because you died twice on Agamas and got nothing from it. That is the reason you lose this seed, right?
Yeah, I should have lost the seed. I should have lost the seed, but I somehow managed to win it. But regardless of that, I assume in a 1v1 situation against the runner of my caliber or better, like somebody like you or Cheesenator or Spellzap or something like that, then I lose the seed because of that Agama White.
Yeah, I mean, they can make mistakes too, but assuming they play well, get lucky, or just get average luck, and you make a mistake, right? That's when you lose. And I've talked a lot about that on these VOD reviews, just like knowing your opponent. 1v1 matchups are different. Know what your execution edge is or execution disadvantage is. Change your plays accordingly. Blah 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 blah. And I think you're aware of that. But like ultimately you're playing a game, and like one thing I despise in this community, which is like no offense to anyone who said it, but like people who are like, oh, this person did a strategy that shouldn't have worked and got lucky against me and beat me. If the
Yeah.
person did that like unknowingly, that's one thing. But if the person said, I feel like I'm worse than you, so I'm going to take a risk and take the plays that I can make. I'm going to play as optimally as I can, but take a purposeful risk because I know I can't beat you head to head if we open the exact same boxes, do the exact same chess with the exact same strategy. That is like complete garbage because that's the person understanding their position in the race and making the correct adjustments to maximize their win percentage, which is ultimately what people should be doing. So like that's who are like on this place of like I should never lose. Like that's just not how
Hmm.
Final Fantasy Randomizer works. It's like Magic the Gathering. The best Magic the Gathering player will still lose to a not a brand new player, but like an average Magic the Gathering player will beat the best Magic the Gathering player in the world 30 or 40% of the time.
Hmm.
And Rando is exactly the same. So your goal, if you're going to be good at this game, your goal is not to win 100% of the time. Your goal is to win as frequently as you can, which and maximize your execution advantage to overcome your opponent adjusting on strategies and things like that. So just that's my rant. I have like a bunch of people who are watching, so that's like really strongly my opinion. So like if I lose, it happens. If I win, that doesn't mean I played great either. It's about making sure that you're making the right plays throughout to maximize your winning chances. So anyways, that's totally tangential to what you're saying, Gregory, but like just I think it's super important to understand.
I agree. I could not agree with that statement more. At the end of the day, we're playing a randomizer for an RPG. So at the end of the day, two equally skilled runners are going to 50-50 luck and
Mhm.
RNG and all that stuff. Like,
Mhm.
if you got top tier runners like Cheesenator or Thunder or
Yeah.
Spellzap Crab Cakes, Edgeworth, those guys, they're going to basically trade wins and losses
I think
no matter what on the same flag set,
I
determining the seed
I agree, but I think
because
even at
of
that top level, there's still execution advantages. Like I mean, Cheesenator is in chat right now, and he can answer for himself. But I believe that Cheesenator still believes he's at a small disadvantage to like Spells app, especially. I mean, if he's rusty or whatever, it's different too. But like I still believe that those best runners still have minor execution edges over each other, depending on the flag set, depending on how much they practice, etc., etc., etc. So even in like, I don't think top tier games are just coin flips either. I still think there's edges to be gained. It's just like when two very evenly matched runners are going, you're going for the 1 or 2% advantage. You're not going for like the 20-minute advantage that you might have over a new player.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Cheesener said, App, CC, Thunder all menu faster than me and act a little bit more decisively, which means they probably have a 1 to 2 minute execution advantage over him, which he needs to overcome.
Yeah.
And that's huge in a super tight matchup. And once again, I know that they'll have closer to a 3 to 4 to 5 minute execution advantage over me. Though I beat them all because, not consistently, but I have beat them all at one time because I got lucky or took more risks. Like, like crab cakes like roasts me sometimes in like duckling whatever if I beat her because I like did something stupid because I was trying it out. But and she's 100% right, but doesn't mean that my time's not valid. It just means that it was the lower percentage play than whatever she did. Um,
There's I don't think there's really much to talk about here.
nope.
Um,
I'm assuming. Okay, I am curious. So my default go-to carry strategy is always punch, nuke, nuke, nuke. But there's an argument to be made for fast, fast, fast as well.
nah, carries. The only reason why I use temper here is because I didn't have the nuke. Now, Dead, who I should have put in the back row,
Hmm.
my big
Oh yeah,
fast
he almost got
caster,
punched.
he almost got punched to death there. So I kind of lucked out there as well.
Yeah, Clementita saying triple fast. Yeah, triple fast I think is totally fine as well. If
Triple fast would have worked fine if I
but
had
fast is level
fast on
6,
any. Yeah,
so nuke here is like the clear play. Fast does not stack at all. The idea with triple fast is that your black belt is guaranteed to one shot. Your fasted black belt at 42 will one shot carry 1 or carry 2 no matter what, which means you're just trying to maximize the odds that any of your characters go before your black belt. That's the thought process. I don't
exactly.
I don't think fast temper makes any sense because temper going off first does not guarantee that your black belt one shots carry, but fast going off first does. So fast, fast, fast. If any of them go off before your black belt, you one punch carry. And I think there's actually an argument to be made for the same thing on Kraken as well, but I then tend to go slightly different because I think locks can be important on Kraken. So I usually go like fast, fast lock, for example.
Well, and also depends on where fast is located as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. This is
So.
assuming level 1 fast. If you have way more nukes, then go with more nukes. So you're going fast, temper. I usually like a lock here over
I don't
tempers.
know if I have lock.
Oh,
I
okay.
think lock I saw was level
Oh,
2.
thank you,
Yeah, I know.
ribbons.
Well, it's because I had 3 ribbons and Puff had the MDF. So that ended up working out really well that I found those 3 ribbons. That could have been a really ugly battle since I think that was his second spell.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, like your party doesn't really need all 4 of these characters up, but keeping 2 or 3 up is really, really, really nice. And I think 1 would be very scary, even with a 4 to
Yeah,
3 black belt. You don't really want to be there.
which just depends. I mean, that battle could have been way scarier 2-manning it. You know what I mean? Especially without a ribbon. If I had soloed that without fast or temper or anything, I don't know how much damage I could have done with Kraken, and who knows what else he had past Zap.
So Cheese and Air is saying temper is better than lock in a vacuum, especially with a black belt. If you don't know the evasion, yes, cast temper. So my thought process is that the way I wipe with a black belt is not that it doesn't do enough damage. The way I wipe is that the fiend is really evasive. So I'm assuming turn 1 nuke and saying I would rather have a lock go off than a temper go off because my black belt's going to do enough damage as long as I can hit it. That's my thought process. I know that temper on average will do more damage, but when you need lock, you need it more than you need the additional temper cast. So that's my logic, but I understand what you're saying. Like I agree that temper mathematically will increase your damage by more on the average evasion of a Kraken, for example.
And then I start moving some people around.
Yep. I think like Kraken, I do also just go nukes a lot of the time. With a 42 black belt, that's maybe the exception. I'll go like fast nuke, but I'll still go nukes a lot of the time. This is a pretty easy fight though. Temper.
Yeah. I shouldn't have any issues here unless like an insta kill comes out and murders my black belt. I hate to. Oh no, dead too.
Oh no! How dare you go
Not
down
dead
dead?
too. Oof. Yeah.
Okay, so GG's,
Hey,
congratulations. I think that was
thank
an
you, thank
awesome
you.
run for you to submit for the VOD review because like it obviously went well in times, but it also definitely like had its bumpy moments, right? I guess before I get into things, is there anything that you kind of want to bring up or like any questions or anything you want to kind of talk about?
No, I mean you like really pointed out some stuff that in the heat of the moment,
Mm-hmm.
it's like so obvious,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I should have been doing like, why am I checking all these chests? Like, why was I checking? Like after I found the bottle on Mermaid side, why am I even bothering greed chests? Like, there's no reason for it. I've got
Mm-hmm.
a ribbon. I've got the best gear I can get.
Yeah.
The only thing I could really get at that point is like an oval bracelet or some sort of
Defense sword.
AoE.
Defense
Yeah,
is like
defense
the
sword.
bomb, but yeah.
Yeah, but the plan is always to get your black belt to a ridiculously high level. So what am
Mm-hmm.
I looking for?
Right.
Especially since I can't even equip the bracelet anyway. So like
Yeah.
again, what am I looking for? Why did I check the box with the trolls in it
Yeah.
just to be wasting like another 10 seconds?
Yeah. So I guess my only thing here is just like I think in general, obviously the seed went pretty well. There's some minor nitpicks on shops and things like that, which I think you've internalized already and you're gonna do a good job on. I think if I can like close out on like one thing, it's like there's one of my favorite books ever is called Thinking Fast and Slow, and it's basically about how our brains have 2 levels of processing. We have an intuitive system and a deliberate system. And
Hmm.
when you're opening those boxes, it's your intuitive system that's kicking in. You're not thinking, I'm going to open this box, I'm going to open this box, and this is why. You're thinking, ooh, shiny, ooh, a box. Oh, like you're just like playing intuitively, right? And the way
Yep.
that you kick yourself out of that is by doing the pre-thought. So I think that if I was going to give you anything to work on, Gregory, it's just like using your downtime when you're automatically playing to be
Hmm.
thinking about decisions that are coming up soon and having
Yeah.
decisions pre-decided. So what's my next routing going to be is kind of like the easiest, but then the next is like what's my box strategy? What am I looking for based off my current gear and levels? And maybe every time something changes, like you find fast or you find your grind, then reevaluate that. But like you only need to do that once in a while, but like once you've thought about that deliberately, then your intuitive system will just follow that and that will make the game way easier. also just, you know, same thing for boxes, same thing for boss fights, same thing for Topher strategy, etc., etc., etc. Just update that like list of like what's my win condition, what's my routing, what's my box strategy, what's my boss, that type of stuff. And I think you'll do like I think that will kind of take your game up just a little bit further. But I don't have that much more to say. Like you're playing well in a lot of these stuff. Like people in chat disagreed with me on like whether they would take an egg on the grind or not, and I don't have all the answers.
I mean, none of us will really have all the answers, and at the end of the day, RNG is going to
Hmm.
dictate anything anyway.
Hmm.
But I think that like it's just good to hear somebody else like really give you some good feedback, and I'm always looking to improve in some sort of way. So
Hmm.
even having you,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have asked you to do this if I didn't want to improve
Yeah.
my gameplay in some sort of way.
So it's funny because like a couple of the people I've been doing VOD reviews have been doing really well, but my thought process is not that I'm a good teacher. It's actually that people who are reaching out to me to do VOD reviews are self-selecting to be players who are going to do very well. And it's once again not because they're reaching out to me and that's a smart move. It's because they're actively trying to improve, and that's actually making, in many ways, it's like making that pre-decision. It's actively searching, actively making a decision to get better at the game rather than just like passively letting the game come to them. And by doing so, they're going to improve. So, that's why I'm always happy to help. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I want to thank everyone who came out and hung out in chat. I think hopefully everyone can pick up something small. If not, let me know. Tell me what you want to hear next, or if you want to get a VOD review. And I really do appreciate Gregory for you know, hooking this up. I had, a couple of the other vets were like, oh, it'd be a roast of Gregory or whatever, but I really do think you took this earnestly, and like, I hope I gave you, you know, this was not a roast of Gregory. This was very much like a what's the next step to take you from a good runner to a top 8 spring tournament runner or something like that, right?
because I mean, it's kind of one of those situations where I've been around. This is my third spring tournament.
Hmm.
I basically, you know, like lucked into a 3-0
Hmm.
in my pod because of just some more unfortunate circumstances with two of the pod mates. So it's like, so I'm gonna make brackets for my first time ever. I
Hmm.
didn't do well. It's SG Live. It's just like something happens when I get into these like
Yeah.
high stress, high level
Hmm.
situations, like these tournament settings where I just can't like execute the way I feel like I can in my
Yeah.
mind. So I
Eh.
just figured, having you come out here
Hmm.
and just go over like the simple shit that I don't think about because there's tons of things you don't think about.
Yeah, for sure. And I've watched you play in a lot of the seas, Gregory, and I think that pre-thought, not playing instinctually, like
Hmm.
in the seeds, at least when you're trying to improve to try and like improve your instinctual play will make a huge difference for you. Because I really do think when seeds go badly for you, it's because your instincts just aren't quite. They're just, I guess, lazy is the wrong. Like system one is always lazy. The intuitive system's always lazy, and therefore you're sometimes working intuitively and making the lazy decision instead of the like very purposeful one, and that's where you're just bleeding time. And I think when you fix that, it's going to be a big win for you because you have
Yeah.
such good gameplay knowledge. You have such good like encounter table knowledge, and like in many ways, I think your gameplay knowledge, your understanding of the encounter table, your understanding of enemy weaknesses, all that jazz is way better than mine. I'm actually not an encyclopedia of this game at all. Like I don't know HP totals in vanilla. I don't know encounter tables past like the first 4 or 5, all etc. etc. So you have advantages. You just got to work on those other areas.